When did I see you? Didn't I see you in Vegas with Florentine many years ago?
Oh, yeah.
What year was that, 2003?
This is when he was opening for Dice. You guys were both opening for Dice.
At the Stardust, we were doing it with, Jim and I were working with Andrew. I think Harvey Korman and Tim Conway did the early show at the Stardust, and then Dice did the late show, and Jim and I were opening for him at the time. I just started doing stand-up, and I was working with Sandy Hackett in Vegas, Buddy Hackett's son, and he was the one giving me most of the stage time. I meet Dice with a Dice idol of mine, comedy idol. Day the Laughter Died. I mean, forget it. Yeah. One of the best comedy albums ever. I'm backstage with Jim and with Florentine, and Dice is holding court back there for about 7 to 8 minutes, has yet to address me. Yeah. And at one point in the middle of this rant, he just turns around, looks at me, points his finger, and goes, "Who are you?" And I see both Florentine and Norton just both kind of back up a little bit, and I go, "Hi, my name's Shuli. I'm a comic. Where are you a comic? Here?" I go, "Yeah." "Who do you work with? Where do you work?" "I work with Sandy Hackett." "Oh, Buddy's kid?" "Yeah." "Do me a favor. Give Sandy a message for me. Tell him he's a piece of shit. Tell him he's always been a piece of shit, and he's never going to be anything like his fucking father was, a fucking legend. You fucking tell him I said that." And I go, "Okay." And he goes, "Nah, just tell him I said hi." He really
was. He just fucking with.
Dude, he commits to making you uncomfortable.
Right.
He really is.
He
good
made
at
me
it.
bomb the first time I opened for him.
Oh, you opened for Dice too?
Dude, I was plugging this thing for 7 weeks on the air. Me and Dice in Toronto, and I get out there. I've yet to talk to him back. It's 5 minutes before the show. John Jameson was on the show. Brings me back to meet him. Dice goes, "So how much time are you gonna do?" I go, "Whatever you need." He goes, "Why don't you do like 3 minutes?"
3?
And I go, "Okay." He goes, "What do you talk about?" I go, "I don't know, drugs, sex, stuff like that." He goes, Nah. Do this. Go out there and be like, 'Who here's from Canada?'" And then be like, "Who loves hockey?" And then be like, "Who's here to see Dice?" And then when they're up there, when they're at the fucking top, talk about the song I'm coming out to. And I go, "I'm sorry, the song you're coming out to?" Yeah, my kid. One's 14, one's 11. They did the one's on drums, one's on guitar. It's fucking great. Talk about that. For how long? They're like 3 minutes. So now the tug of war in my head's like, I've been plugging this for months.
Sure.
I don't want to bomb. It's fucking 1,500 people in the theater.
Right.
I don't want to eat shit in front of them. But at the end of the day, it's Dice's show.
Who's your audience, right? Is it the 15,000 people there, or is it Andrew?
Yeah, it's Andrew. It's his show. I get paid the same whether I kill or bomb. And this is what he wants. And I've worked with enough comics that just fucking sit back there and say nothing and do nothing. And at least this guy wants to have fun.
Yeah.
And so what did you do when you got out on stage?
I walk out, I go, "Who here's from Canada?" Everyone. How about everyone, asshole?
You're in Canada.
Who loves hockey? Again, everyone. Who's here to see Dice? Everyone in attendance came to see Dice. And then I go, "Well, let me tell you about the song he's coming out to." A song that I haven't even heard, and neither have they. And within 7 seconds of having no jokes about this,
of course,
I just hear from the balcony, "Get the fuck off the stage!" And I look at that big clock on the ground, and it's an eternity.
Right.
And I had no I think one punchline was like, "The drummer's 11." Like, that was a punchline.
Right. Because that's all you knew.
You were bombing.
Terribly.
And it's just because Dice was entertained by it, is that right?
Of course he was.
Oh, you want to talk entertainment? I go, "Guys, you've been the best. Thank you so much.
You've been the
Dice."
best.
Yeah, I don't even know where I am, much less what I'm saying. I walk off stage. He's got his glasses off. He's wiping tears out of his eyes. And he looks up at me and he goes, "You had him. You could have done like 6 more minutes. You had him."
He loved it.
Loved it.
He enjoyed that.
So did you, all the years you were on the road with him, did you just watch him just commit like that to just fucking with people?
To fucking with people. What does he do? Oh, there's one character he'll do. It's called Get Me to the Stage Dice, where he'll walk in and just to give the promoter a stroke, he pretends he's either drunk or on drugs. So you can't... He won't talk to the promoter. He just, and they'll sit him down, and the promoter's like, "Can he do the show?" And they're like, "I think so." And you have to pick him up.
Because you guys can't break. It's part of your job.
Yeah. So you Get Me to the Stage Dice is one with the promoter, literally until he walks out, thinks he's too drunk to do the show.
Now, have you ever, and you were probably on the road with him more than you were, Shuli, but either of you guys, have you ever been in scenarios? Like, how do you determine when, oh shit, like he's actually pissed right now, and oh, he's doing a bit? Like, is there a clear distinction for you? Or?
I didn't see him pissed that often. I mean, I retweeted something from Joey Coco Diaz last night. It was a picture. It was like 17 years ago today. I know, but it was. It's on my Twitter and his. It was 17 years ago today. We were at the Stardust, and this guy RJ was going to do a show. He was just like a fan of Dice's. He was a high roller. Oh yeah, and that was us in front of the Stardust. There's Happy Face, and there's Dice, and there's me with my dumb sunglasses, and that I guess whatever 17 years ago was 2000. What are we in 2002? And I remember that's probably around the time that we...
But he didn't get pissed very often?
No.
Because that's what I'd be a little bit...
He was a fun guy.
I'd be worried about that there'd be that, because there are people who have that thing where they're fucking around all the time.
Is that Kenny? Sorry, is that Kenny behind him? It might be.
And it's funny because...
It doesn't look like Kenny.
No.
It is tough to tell, for me anyways, when he was serious or when he was not pissed, but when he was just serious about...
Right, because you get lost, and even times when people get lost in their own bits, like they're doing this thing where they're pretending to be pissed.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in the mix of it, they actually got pissed, and you're going, oh no, I don't know if any of us know what we're doing here anymore. Is this a bit? Is this real life? Is it somewhere in between?
And especially how long you've been doing this. For me, like when I met him and got to work with him, I wasn't a seasoned vet at this. So whatever comes out of his mouth, I'm taking seriously. So when he comes to me before the show and goes, don't do nothing on texting or Obama. I'm doing that tonight. And I'm like, I don't even have anything on those, but he got it.
He got me one night so good. Like, I flew into Vegas, I think when he was doing the Venetian.
Yeah.
And I got in the night before Kenny and Happy Face did.
And those are his guys?
Yeah. Club Soda Kenny and Mike, Happy Face. Yeah. I think I flew in on a Thursday night. We had Friday, Saturday shows. So we're on the phone, and they're telling me, look, Dice is not coming in tomorrow. Because it's his wife's birthday. He's very romantic. He's getting flowers. And they had me convinced that Andrew is such a romantic he's not coming in. And I had to do the show.
Like you would have to headline.
Yeah, just do the show. And Dice is so good at committing. And we got on a three-way call, and they had me convinced that I had to do that. It was so fucking enraging. I was panicking.
So you're sitting
I'm like, I can't do the show. And Dice is trying to one time get me to change my look, to put on tight jeans and a white T-shirt and a leather coat. It was so
I love that
embarrassing.
Jim's so out of it, he thinks the guy that goes, is a romantic.
But that is kind of the guy, and I'm sure I pointed that out in the fucking call.
But you're sitting there.
He would fuck with your heart, and he committed to it so well, you really thought that he meant. At first, you're like, shut up. But then you're like, Jesus Christ, he fucking means it.
Yeah. So you have to start piecing together a full hour because you're used to doing these short sets.
I refuse to do it. I'm like, I can't do it. I'm like, he's a fucking legend. And Kenny's like, nobody will care. I'm like, they're going to care.
Nobody will care. They go to see Dice, and just his opener does the whole time.
But he still, till this day, when he sees me, he goes, Shushel! He calls me Shushel. That's
it's endearing. It's nice.
I said, I love it. I love it.
It's really, really nice.
Yeah, well, he's a fun guy to travel with, man. I miss those days. Because they were carefree days.
Yeah.
Like, you don't realize how good you have it. There's no pressure on you to draw.
You really sitting here and telling me you don't know what you got till it's gone? Is that that's what you're coming to the table with right now?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's where we're at.
Not even that, because back then I have more now than I had then.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, I don't miss what I quote unquote, it's like the carefree, like, the coming up part of it, where you're just the opener. You're not making much money, but he's paying for your flights.
It's the experience.
Will
I
get upgraded? It's not the money.
No.
Will I get upgraded? Want to get upgraded? We're staying in a fucking 5-star hotel. Like, I stay in nice hotels.
You guys sound like a John Cougar Mellencamp song right now.
But
you are fucking Shuli and Diane. You can have the Jack part.
It's a little ditty, mind. It's like we get. I remember the first time getting on a flight to go to a gig, middle seat, exit row, and I'm going, I can't believe I don't have to drive to this fucking gig.
Yeah.
This is the best.
I'm important. I'm flying somewhere.
Yeah.
Sam doesn't understand that because no one's ever taken Sam under his wing.
Well, I mean, can you blame him?
No, nobody has.
No one likes Sam.
Nobody has.
But it was fun. Those carefree days of like just being the opener.
Right.
When you don't give a fuck. I didn't care. I rooted for fucking empty shows. There never were any. But the pressure of his audience, you didn't care. I didn't care if there was 1,000 people or 80. It didn't matter. I mean, there was always full crowds.
I mean, that's amazing.
Oh.
That you don't have to worry about the seats. You don't. It's not because it's not your name on the marquee, so it doesn't matter.
Dude, you were doing 15 minutes. You're bringing him on. You're trying to fuck girls. You're going out with him and Kenny and Happy Face after. Like, he's the big celebrity. Everybody wants to talk to him. No one gives a shit about you.
We're barnacles. We're just attached to this ship.
Just attached to this ship,
man.
So much fun.
I mean, I get why.
Oh, it's great.
There are people who just decide to do that for their lives. They're just like, I'm going to be the hanger-on guy and just stay forever. Which is never, like, it's never this thing where we're talking about it now, and it's like when you're young and when you're just starting out, to be a hanger-oner guy that just kind of travels with the big star, that can be really great.
Yep.
But there's nothing worse than the guy who kind of takes it just too long, and you look back.
Well, it's the guy wearing the varsity jacket.
Yeah.
He's been out of high school for Uncle Rico.
Yeah.
You know
but
I mean?
if you guys were like, let's say, opening with another comic,
yeah,
and like you guys have done what you guys have done now, and you found out that person was still opening for Dice, it's not like you'd be like, oh, that must still be fun. You'd be like, oh, are you still doing this, man?
You don't want to keep doing it right because it's a comfortable place to be.
Yeah.
And you get, when you're professionally touring with a bigger, giant act, I get why you'd want to do it because the money can go up. Like, you can make a good money doing that, but it's just, you're going to kind of, because the headliner is the headliner. Dice is Dice. You're not going to outshine Dice. You know, I mean, what are you going to do? Like, he was always very good to me. Like, he always talked me up. He got me an Opie and Anthony. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. So it's like those guys.
Hate that man.
I know. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
But it's also a guy.
You mean we wouldn't have gotten that fascinating Hornet break if it weren't for Dice?
That is true. We wouldn't.
But it's also a guy who, again, enjoys doing
You'd still be with
this.
Scorch.
We can only dream.
Yeah, I know.
Scorch.
Yeah, he was so good to me, man. And those days of opening, those days of, they were fun days.
You know, another guy that was really fun to work with was Howie Mandel.
I never worked with Howie.
Man, I mean, talk about a guy who loves doing what he does. This guy,
Comedy?
Just everything.
Because he fucks with people all the time too, right?
But the opening to his show, he puts on a video before I go out, and he goes, this video is going to play for a few minutes. He goes, but, you know, people might be angry by the time you go out there. I go, what the fuck does that mean?
Why would you do that then?
So it's a video of some guy on Lawrence Welk singing a song, like an old country song, and then they edit it where they loop it, the video, and you don't realize it's looped till about 3 minutes into the song. So this guy's playing the few, and this is in Canada, so it's like 8,000 people.
Oh my God.
It's massive show. And 3 minutes goes by, and he goes to me, now they're going to start booing. And sure enough, at 3 minutes, boo, right? And he goes, and I'm back here, and I'm going, this isn't good, right? And then he goes, at 7 minutes, they're really going to fucking
No.
And I go, 7? I go, how long is this? He goes, it's about 12 minutes.
No.
So this thing, I am not shitting you. The place is ready to riot at about 8 minutes in, right? And it keeps going. And it gets to like 10 minutes and it stops. And there's it's like an old high 8 camera. So you see the little stop button appear in the corner of the screen. And the crowd goes nuts. They're like, yes, it's over. And then the rewind button comes up and they go, no! And then it plays for another 30 seconds. And then he sends me out. And what I didn't think about is it's just the opposite. When I came out, I could have been dressed as Hitler. They would have given me a standing ovation.
They were so happy to see you.
They were so happy that video was over, and I was
very funny,
man. And that's him to a T. Like, he kept looking at me that whole weekend, going, "Can you believe we get paid to do this?"
Yeah,
and that
just
for
having
me is
fun.
everything.
Yeah,
that's where my mindset's at.
What a ballsy thing to do, just to fuck with your audience for 12 minutes
to start the show.
Was it a good song?
Oh, it was such an earworm fucking song. That whole week I had it in my head. And it was just, and the edit was so fucking good. It was great.
That you didn't know it was on a loop at first.
Oh my God. And I looked all over for that video. I've been searching since then.
That's amazing.
That's very funny.
It was brilliant.
And then the rewind button.
Oh, when that rewind went, you heard 8,000 people like,
that's going to make me laugh all week.
I love when you find guys like that have been in the business for as long as they have and haven't lost sight of this is fun.
Just
like
being funny. And
we're goofing off. Like, we get to goof off for a living. You encounter, it's so weird. I guess it's not that weird, but you end up encountering way more often people that forget we shouldn't be getting paid to do this.
Right.
Like I've never.
They've reminded me plenty of times.
Like I'll sit there and people go, "Oh, how was work today?" And I'm like, "It was good."
Right.
And they're like, "So you never say it was bad?" I'm like, "'Cause we're fucking around on the radio for the morning, and then that's the job. We're done. Then after that,
I can't come home and put my feet up and go, not today. I got to decompress.
Oh, what the fuck, man? This was a tough one. This was a tough one.
Yeah, this is a joy.
But you do encounter people the longer they stay in that are like miserable, and you're like, "What on earth? You got to do this for all these years. What on earth could make you happy?"
They're like they're the TSA of their industry.
Yeah.
Like, you're done, dude. You're done. You're burnt out. You don't want to do this. You don't want to be here. I'm not going to thank you for working for free.
Right.
Because you're an idiot.
Right.
Why would you come in to work for free?
Go home.
Yeah.
Is this the video, Shuli?
Oh, I think this is, dude.
Okay, let's take a listen. The great goof.
God damn it, that's going to make me laugh.
He played another video in the middle of the show, just him pranking people at a hair salon. And he's just so fucking
He's a funny fucking dude, man.
Howie Mandel's the man.
Because he's been on TV for so long, hosting game shows. A lot of people just know him as that, and you forget that he's like a hilarious guy.
The first special I ever saw was his Chicago special, live from Chicago, where he was just... I just remember even as a kid going, this guy's... Like, the way he interacts with the audience, he's so fast. His crowd work is just... amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, let's go to the first question of the day. It's very, very important. We'll go to Jim in Illinois. What's up, Jim?
Good morning, Jim and Sam. Which one of you sick fucks decided to play that goddamn music?
It's the best.
Was it stuck in your head yesterday?
Larry Hooper. Yeah, it was for a while. And then I would just be doing something, and it would just be there.
It would creep
It would
back.
just be present. But I love it. I love that fucking song. I went and found the original version of it.
Oh, of course you did.
Where that that performance of it, where he actually sings the whole song. But it's not much longer. It's actually like a 2-minute song. It's very, very quick. And there's the introduction. He just kind of stands there looking like Jim Neighbors. It's really great.
So we found out yesterday that Shuli had opened. Shuli, who was in yesterday, opened for Howie Mandel, and he was talking about kind of nightmare scenarios, and what he thought would be a nightmare, but was not at all, was Howie starts his comedy shows with a looped 12-minute version of the song that we started the show with today.
And the audience, Shuli said, after 3 minutes, they're booing.
Murderously.
After 8 minutes, I think they're going crazy. And at one point, he said Howie would stop it. Like all of a sudden on the screen, you would just see the stop button like an old recorder, and then people would cheer, and then the rewind thing would come on, and they would rewind it and play.
And they, no!
He's the really funny man.
That's torture. It's what you do to torture victims. It's when you go, okay, we're done with the torture, and you start walking them out of the jail cell, and they go, oh my God, and then you go, oh wait, nope, and then you walk them back, and
You're
they
not
go,
going home.
What? No, no. It's mental torture.
Yeah, and it's one of the funniest things I've heard in a long time. I just thought of it all day yesterday, how great that was.
It's such a great thing to do.
To punish your audience with something so stupid. And they know you're fucking with them.
Well, of course they do.
They know what you're doing.